everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Gardner. Not only that, but this is the Platinum Chase variant. This is him in his civilian-type outfit. This is actually him when he had a yellow power ring after he left the Green Lantern Corps, and that's how he got his powers. But he fought in what looked like civilian clothing for a brief period of time. I found this guy at Walmart. I went to Walmart, I had him scan the barcode for these figures, and he said there's 4 on the sales floor, but of course there was nothing there, no backroom location, so I left disappointed, and on my way out the door, the produce department was next to the exit. I'm walking by there, and bam, Platinum Guy Gardner just chilling over there. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Guy Gardner, McFarlane Collector's Edition, McFarlane Platinum Edition. Here he is in the package. We have a yellow lantern battery, 6 hands, 2 different hair pieces, and 3 different faces. There's also a collector's card and display stand. One side of the package, McFarlane Collector's Edition, Guy Gardner from Green Lantern Corps. This is the 32nd figure in the Collector's Edition subline. Other side, Guy Gardner. At the bottom, there's this barcode, if that helps anybody, but keep in mind the Platinum version is the same barcode as the regular. And on the back, here's Guy Gardner, a little more modern look. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. We have a display stand, a collector's card, 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, 3 different faces, 2 different hair pieces, and a yellow lantern battery. Before I take a look at all those, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Guy Gardner, and it's not a Green Lantern version of him. It looks like he's in civilian attire. But let me tell you a story. So this version of Guy Gardner, at one point, Hal Jordan was the main Green Lantern of Earth, and Guy Gardner was his backup. So Guy Gardner ended up challenging Hal Jordan, and they got into some sort of fight where whoever lost would lose their power ring and kind of be out of the Corps. Of course, Guy Gardner lost, and then he had no powers. He tried to fight some different villains with no success, so he wanted to get his powers back. He ended up tricking Lobo to assist him. They went to find the yellow power ring from Sinestro, and this is before the Sinestro Corps existed, where Sinestro had the only yellow lantern ring. He found out that Sinestro's ring is unique, and never went back to Quard. He travels to OA and finds Sinestro's hand in the crypt of Green Lantern Corps. So he has this yellow lantern ring, which pretty much gives him the same powers as the Green Lantern stuff, and he wasn't an evil Sinestro Corps yellow lantern, but he had the yellow lantern ring, giving him typical Green Lantern powers. His yellow lantern ring does not need recharged. It simply gets extra energy when encountering or fighting other Green Lanterns. It takes a little bit of their power. Now, he stayed this way for a little while, and I remember the comics, he was wearing this sort of leather jacket and jeans, sort of regular type look. I don't think I ever really understood that he was kicked out of the Green Lantern Corps, and he was using a yellow lantern ring, that sort of stuff. Now, he's not part of the Sinestro Corps. He's still a hero of sorts. Eventually, he got his Green Lantern powers back and was welcomed back into the Corps. Now, Guy Gardner is known as being kind of an asshole. He's always sort of making his little jokes. He treats women like shit. He has this really, really ugly bowl haircut, and I don't know if he's exactly goofy, but those are a lot of his personality traits. In the more modern version, his hair is a little bit less awful looking. Although, my God, if you saw that Superman trailer, he doesn't exactly have a bowl cut, but his hair looks like shit, as it should, being Guy Gardner. So I think it's a pretty cool idea for a Platinum figure. Not a necessary variant, but this is a variant that was used in the comics for a very long time. When he left the Corps, he had his own comic series, and this is how he had his powers. So let's take a closer look. Starting with his face and head sculpt, it looks so dumb. He's got his mouth open. He could probably hang out with the Flashpoint Aquaman. He's got that ugly, ugly bowl cut, my God. But we do have a different option for the face, because this is a hideous face, and different option for the hair. Even though, to tell you the truth, this is the hair that I want my Guy Gardner to have. That ugly, ugly bowl cut. He's got a leather jacket, collar popped up. I think this is supposed to be a G on the front. He's got a belt, and then blue jeans, and then tall brown boots. Double jointed elbows, Double jointed knees. Pretty good looking figure. Looking forward to getting the true Green Lantern version. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. That screaming face looks hideous. The bowl cut almost looks even worse. But that's always been Guy Gardner's signature look. Really dumb haircut and a super cocky attitude. One detail they absolutely got right is the yellow power ring on his glove. And I kind of thought maybe they would still paint it green, maybe they would just paint his whole hand white. But good job with a little attention to detail there. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane display stand we've seen countless times before. The only difference is this one has a silver DC at the bottom because it's part of the collector's edition. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, it's a more modern version of Guy Gardner. He doesn't have the bowl cut, a little bit more of sort of military cut. McFarlane Collector's Edition. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's look at his hands. He has 6 of them, 3 left hands and 3 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers. Here's his third pair of hands. His right hand is an index finger pointing, and his left hand is completely open. Now let's check out his faces and different hair pieces. He's got a bowl cut and a little more modern cut. He has a screaming face, a face with a half smile or smirk, and a more serious face. Here's his first face and head sculpt. This is a screaming face and the bowl haircut. And here's his alternate hairpiece. This is a little more modern, sort of spiked up, but just sort of lacks the Guy Gardner charm of that ugly-ass bowl cut he's had for many, many years. Here's his half-smile face sculpt. And here's his third face. This one has the serious expression and the bowl cut. Now keep in mind, you can use either hair with any of the faces. And here's his lantern battery, which he really shouldn't come with, as it was very specific that the yellow lantern ring did not need recharged. But the regular version probably comes with the green one, so it's just a variant. And it makes more sense to come with the yellow one than another green one, but really shouldn't have one at all. It's cast in semi-transparent plastic, which I've always disagreed with because it's not an actual construct. It's a physical item to recharge your ring, but maybe it's supposed to be glowing with lantern energy. I don't know. Here's Guy Gardner holding that lantern battery. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to just over 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, he can rotate side to side. He can look up about that far, down about that much. Can tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders, a ball joint goes out 90 degrees, up, down, around. He's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, they go in about that far. His wrists can rotate and it is hinged. There we go. His torso is pretty much one solid piece, and it doesn't really have the soft goods overlay. You can't push inside. It's not hollow. Ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back. Legs, complete as splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty much non-existent. Legs go forward, I don't know, about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. And the ankle, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's Guy Gardner in the city streets. He looks kind of like a brawler with a Zeppelin. He's not part of the Green Lantern Corps. He's not part of the Sinestro Corps. But he has a yellow lantern ring and fights on the side of good. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Green Lantern figures. This is actually the first Guy Gardner figure I have from any company, and I should have a second one soon when I get the Green Lantern version from McFarlane. No Mattel, no DC Direct. I've always wanted to put Guy Gardner in the collection, and I guess I finally did. And even though he's not a member of the Sinestro Corps, I think I should check him out next to the other Yellow Lantern figures I have before the Green Lanterns. He's not exactly a Yellow Lantern, but he is using the Yellow Lantern power ring to get his powers. Here he is next to both versions of Sinestro that McFarlane has done. well, both yellow versions of Sinestro. There's another one as well. And here he is, next to McFarlane's Sinestro Corps Batman. Here's Guy Gardner, next to a Mattel DC Universe Classics Sinestro Corps Batman and Scarecrow. Then, next to a couple of NECA Sinestro Corps Predators. Now let's check them out next to some Green Lantern Corps figures. Here's Guy Gardner, next to Hal Jordan, both the classic and modern versions. And here he is next to John Stewart, both classic and modern. Then, with Alan Scott and Kyle Rayner. Next, with a couple different Batman as Green Lantern figures. And now, with a bunch of Green Lantern Corps members. Green Man, Abin Sur, Sinestro, Kilowog, Tomar Ray, and Arcus Chumuk. Here's Guy Gardner, next to all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Green Lantern figures. With any luck, tomorrow I'll have the Green Lantern version of Guy Gardner to add to the collection. And then here are all the different McFarlane DC Multiverse Lantern figures. We have white lanterns, blue lanterns, yellow lanterns, green lanterns, red lanterns, and black lanterns. And boy, do we have a lot of them. Here are a bunch of different Green Lantern villains McFarlane has made. So here's the McFarlane Collector's Edition Wave 1. Every single Collector's Edition figure has a Platinum Chase variant. Here are both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance Superman, the Abyss, and Alan Scott Green Lantern. And here's the second wave of Collector's Edition figures, both regular and Platinum versions of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. Then, the third wave of Collector's Edition figures, we have the Death and Return of Superman, Captain Carrot, Batman as Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. Here's the fourth wave. This wave consisted of Penguin, Starfire, and Captain Boomerang. And here's the fifth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Sergeant Rock, Connor Kent Superboy, and Manga Batman. Here's the sixth wave of Collector's Edition figures, both versions of the Red Hood, Clock King and Dr. Time, Ragman, and Agent Liberty. And finally, here's the seventh wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, Huntress, and some Green Lantern Corps members. We have Tomar Ray, Abin Sur, Arcus Chumuk, and the Green Man. And then here, next to the eighth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. Finally, I have this wave complete. Both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Lightning Lad, Seven Boss Green Lantern, Geoforce, Grid, Christopher Reeve Superman, and finally Mr. Terrific. It's been a long time coming, but I finally have this wave complete. This wave was unusually large. Usually it's just 3 figures, maybe an exclusive, but this one had 4 figures and 2 different exclusives. The next wave is going to consist of Power Girl, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Captain Cold. Looking forward to those, and looking forward to finding out what the Platinums are going to be. Then, with the ninth wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, I have the regular Captain Cold and the Platinum Chase variant of Guy Gardner. I do have the bundle of 3 figures coming the day after tomorrow, so I'll take care of all the regular figures, and I'm still on the hunt for a Platinum Power Girl and a Platinum Captain Cold. If anyone can help me out, drop me a line. And since this Cyborg Superman is a Platinum Chase variant, I wanted to take a look at all the different McFarlane DC Multiverse Platinum Chase variants out there. Here are all the sort of older Platinum Chase variants. Gold, bronze, unpainted, and then some newer versions. And then here are all the 2024 Platinum Chase variants. Boy, they released a lot last year, and I'm sure there's a ton to come this year. And Guy Gardner here is actually the first Platinum Chase variant that I've gotten from 2025. There's a few others that are out right now. I'm on the hunt for the Platinum of Power Girl, Captain Cold, and there's also a Platinum Chase variant of the Batman Begins Scarecrow figure. That's a show at Target. I'm on the hunt for all those. If anyone has a lead, drop me a line. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is next to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker and Franklin Murray 2-pack. Here's Guy Gardner next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Icon. And here he is next to the Target exclusive Gold Label Wildcat and Orion. Then, with the most recent wave of Page Punchers, both the regular and Platinum versions of Shazam and Captain Thunder, the comic version of the Christopher Reeve Superman, and both versions of Red Hood from the animated series. And now, with the King Kong vs. Batman 3-pack, Here's Guy Gardner, next to the most recent Batman wave. Both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the Silver Age Batman and Noel Batman, the Platinum Batman vs. Spawn Batman, and all three variations of the Neo-Gothic Batman Beyond Batman. And here he is, next to the Justice League Task Force wave. Aquaman, The Flash, Superman, Batman, Collective Build Darkseid, both the regular and the Platinum Chase versions. Then, next to the GameStop exclusive Frostbite Nightwing, and the Amazon exclusive Batman that came with the Batglider, and now with the Amazon exclusive Court of Owls 3-pack, and finally, with the most recent Mega figures, the Zack Snyder's Justice League Armored Darkseid, the one that came with the throne, and the Planet Ron Red Swamp Thing. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work with smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In Freddy were 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, and now with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here he is, next to a radio that I accidentally brought home from work today. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, it's a pretty cool Green Lantern figure. It's a pretty cool Guy Gardner figure. And I think it's a cool Platinum Chase variant. This is what a Platinum Chase variant should be. Most people are going to want the Green Lantern version of Guy Gardner, but if you're a hardcore collector or a completist, you're going to want this sort of weird civilian/Yellow Lantern version. I think it's a really, really cool idea, and I love these 90s figures. Sculpt paints are pretty good. The bowl cut is hideous, but it looks appropriate for Guy Gardner, and if you hate that, you have a little more modern option. The torso is quite limited in the articulation. Typically they do a soft goods overlay with some articulation underneath, which ends up being pretty useless. They didn't try that here. Like I said, it's useless, so this is kind of fine. I appreciate the detail about the yellow ring. If I were to rate this figure, probably going to give him like a 7 out of 10. It's nice. I'm kind of teetering 7.5 because I just like the idea of this guy as the variant. It's a little bit more of an obscure Guy Gardner figure, even though he did have this for at least a few years in the comics, I believe. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.